At first glance, Alina seemed like just an ordinary receptionist. But don't be fooled. Hidden beneath the surface, she's a powerful warrior named Dao. People say the strongest adventurers have the best weapons. Today was just like any other day. Alina woke up happy and got ready for work. She loved being a receptionist. It's an easy and safe job. She gets to meet many adventurers every day, which is fun. Alina usually relaxes at work, but sometimes things get interesting. Today, she met an arrogant adventurer who thought he was better than everyone else. He acted important because he was famous. People paid attention to him because he was special. Alina stayed calm even though he was annoying. He came for a very difficult mission to fight a dangerous hellfire dragon. This mission was taking a long time, and his silver team wanted to show off. Alina asked to see his card, but he was lazy. He thought everyone knew him, and they did. But there are rules at work. Alina was a bit annoyed but smiled and asked him to hurry up. This would have taken much longer with someone else. Long ago, people in Hikasia had help from the gods, and adventurers built amazing cities. But then, monsters took over. Hikasia became a very dangerous place. To fight back, people started going into dungeons to defeat the monsters. The La family has been fighting monsters for over 200 years. Alina works for the biggest guild of adventurers, which means she sometimes has to work late. She hates working late and wants to be at home relaxing. But if she stops, there will be more work. Alina drank some water to feel better, but she was still bored. The reason for all the extra work was a terrible dragon. Adventurers kept losing to the dragon, so there were many forms to fill out. Alina got so angry, she almost wanted to destroy the dragon boss, so she wouldn't have to deal with the paperwork anymore. She promised herself to finish work on time tomorrow and avoid any extra work. The team fighting the dragon faced one of the strongest creatures in the world. They were very skilled, but they couldn't hurt the dragon. The arrogant man tried to attack, but the dragon's skin was too hard. He was thrown away and knocked out. The healer had to help him quickly. The mage tried to use magic, but it didn't work. The whole team had to run away before someone died. Alina, in her true identity as the strongest adventurer, appeared before the enemy that had forced her to work overtime for a month. It made her furious. She summoned the ultimate weapon, surprising everyone because no one there was old enough to create it. This powerful weapon was possible because of the complete program. Alina charged in without fear. She hit the dragon directly on the head, making it dizzy. The other adventurers tried to attack, but were easily avoided. They gave up and continued to watch the fight. The silver earning team was amazed. They couldn't believe how strong one person could be. The dragon knew it couldn't win in close combat, so it flew up to attack from above. It breathed fire, but it didn't hurt Alina. She jumped high and silently approached the dragon. Cursing the beast, she used the sharp end of her hammer. The hammer struck with great force, causing the dragon to scream in pain. The dragon rolled over and died. The captain realized this girl was the executioner, the mysterious adventurer who kills powerful bosses alone. The other members were shocked because solo players face more risks. After killing the dragon, it dropped rare and powerful items. Alina didn't need them. All she wanted was to stop working overtime. She glanced at the defeated team, and the captain looked shocked.
Hey there, darling. I know this is a new channel, but I really need your support. So please hit that subscribe button. It's just like joining a squad, and trust me, you don't want to miss out on all the fun. So come on, darling. Let's dive into more epic recaps together. Once again, please subscribe.
The next day, news of the executioner who defeated the boss spread quickly. Many adventurers admired her amazing fighting style. Layla, a cute junior, admired the executioner and asked Alina if she knew anything. Alina was startled and said she didn't know anything. Layla thought the executioner would make the silver earning team the best in the world. Alina was happy thinking about it. She didn't want to take any risks. She pretended to just like her job. If the guild found out she was secretly a powerful adventurer and using a fake license, she would be fired. As long as she didn't have to work overtime, she was happy. Being a receptionist was good enough for her. Why bother fighting monsters? The scene shifts to Jade, who was trying to find out the true identity of the executioner. He was very impressed with her strength and wanted to invite her to his silver team. But the guild information was limited, and he couldn't find anyone like the girl he saw yesterday. The others were surprised when the leader confirmed that the executioner was a woman. This was hard to believe, because the executioner moved so quickly while carrying a huge weapon. The leader said she had black hair and jade green eyes, and she was very young. The others said they have to recruit one member, because the one with attitude guy has left the group after that dragon kicked his ass. For which Jade said he needs some time and was so determined to invite Alina to his team. At noon, the group split up to buy things. The red-haired guy, Low Splendor, wanted to sleep. The other girl, Lululi, had to feed him. They ate and continued shopping. They tried to enjoy themselves because adventurers never know what will happen tomorrow, just like the battle with the Hellfire Dragon. If Alina hadn't appeared, the whole group would have been in serious danger. The pink-haired girl complained that her friend always slept and never went out. He explained that he studied magic diligently every night. Nearby, a young man was upset because people looked down on him. Suddenly, a stranger appeared and started plotting something. Jade still had the relic that Executioner left behind the previous day. He hoped to find her. This relic held a lot of power from a past hero. So many adventurers wanted it. But the Executioner didn't care about such things. She had a special skill for creating weapons, unlike other adventurers. It was probably a lost skill from long ago. Jade was thinking about this when Alina ran by. He recognized her black hair and green eyes. He followed her into the guild, where she worked as a receptionist. Alina was happy because today's work was easy. Then, Jade came over and greeted her. She knew something was wrong. The Silver Sword Captain was here because he had discovered her secret. Alina tried to act calm and asked what he wanted. At first, Jade pretended to be looking for someone who could use a warhammer. Alina was startled and tried to pretend she didn't know anything. But Jade is very observant. He saw her face at night and knew the hammer user with green eyes was her. Alina had to admit the truth, and she asked him to talk with her personally. She told him her life as a receptionist might be over. Jade returned the relic from the dragon. He said it was very powerful and often used as a weapon. Suddenly, Alina crushed the gem, scaring Jade. This was a warning. If he revealed her identity, he would face the same fate. Jade was terrified and didn't say anything. Alina knew she had to keep her life as a receptionist a secret. If anyone dared to destroy her peaceful life, there would be consequences. Jade was scolded like a dog, too scared to speak. He still tried to hold her hand, showing off his skills. Seeing this, Alina summoned her ultimate hammer to scare him. She didn't want her life as a receptionist to end. Jade asked where she got that powerful hammer. He thought it was a rare and lost skill. Alina didn't understand. It was a legendary weapon, very powerful but lost a long time ago. She refused to listen and went back to the original topic. He said he wanted Alina to join his team because she was so impressive. Alina wanted to punish him for being a pest, but she had to keep her secret. She might have accidentally hurt him. The only reason she killed the dragon was because of all the extra work it cost. She didn't want to be an adventurer. She explained the frustration of never-ending paperwork. She hoped to fight bosses to relieve her stress and get rid of the extra work. It sounds crazy, but Jade kept asking. Finally, he couldn't convince her to join his team. Alina warned him one last time that if he told anyone about today, he would be in serious trouble. She returned to the guild and immediately saw Layla. A rude man was asking her to give a secret mission. The threat scared Alina's younger sister, Layla. Alina also stood up to help, saying there was no secret mission. The guy didn't believe her. He was still angry, like he'd been bitten by a dog. He thought the receptionists were being rude. She thought in her mind that secret mission was made up by the adventurers, but it couldn't be true. Alina tried to stay calm and explain, but he wouldn't listen. That's an old man who doesn't like me. He grabbed her shirt and was going to hurt her badly, but then the goat appeared. Jade called this guy Slay. He told the man not to touch the receptionist because he was acting crazy. Slay rushed in and punched him, but then he ran away like a scared dog, saying he would get them back later. Layla was saved and felt relieved. Alina thanked Jade and said that if she had trouble again, she could ask him for help. He said that some people in every job get angry easily. He told her not to make others angry too much or something bad would happen again. Alina thanked him and asked why the captain of the Silver Swords helped her. Jade said it was just a coincidence. He said he was just passing by. He went home because he was scared that girl might hurt him. She wakes up worried every morning. She has been thinking a lot since she was found out to be the executioner. She thinks she should use force to stop that young man from bothering her. To feel better, she calls him Black Goat instead of Goat. Black Goat is an important person in the association, and if anyone finds out that she killed him, she could lose her job. She lies in bed and doesn't want to think about it. She wants to stay like this forever. She thought about how his receptionist job helped her buy a house. She was happy because going to work was the best part of her day. She couldn't let herself lose her job. She ate lunch alone in a secret place. Alina wondered what Jade was doing here. He was there and said the place was great, quiet, and had a good view. Alina stood up. She used a special skill to scare the guy away. He was so scared he said he didn't do anything. She told him off. She said this was her short break and she was having fun. Then he came and bothered her. Jade wanted to ask her how she learned that special skill, but she didn't want to say. She said she doesn't know how to use it yet. If luck is all that matters, then being a receptionist is a waste of time. Jade hoped Alina becomes an adventurer like him. She acted tough and said even if he stayed at work forever, he couldn't change anything. She absolutely refused to join his silver team. As she walked, she wondered why God gave someone like her, a receptionist, such amazing skills. This story started 2 years ago. The city was having a big festival for 3 days every year. During the festival, people from all over the world came to celebrate. Every time, Alina had to work late because she was new to this receptionist work. The new girl missed the first 2 days of the festival and had no fun at all. The girl felt trapped at her desk. She was determined to finish work that night so she could go to the festival. She knew that the festival was special. It was said that if you wished for something during the festival, it might come true. So she wished to God that she wouldn't have to work late. Alina finished some work quickly and hurried to the festival, feeling excited. Unfortunately, it was past midnight. No one was there to open the door. She felt disappointed. Tonight was the last day of the festival, and she missed it all. She tried her best, but she was the only one who had to work. She started to cry. She hated having to work late. She wished she had the power to destroy everything, so she wouldn't have to work late anymore. It seemed like God heard her wish, and she got those special skills. Flay is angry and wants to punish the receptionist for being rude to him. By chance, someone there caught a huge monster. Slay came up with a plan. Jade was trying to figure out how to get Alina to notice him. He was starting to like her and wanted to invite her to his team. Suddenly, he heard a loud bang. He ran to see what happened. The monster had caused a lot of damage to the city, and many people were in danger. Seeing this, Jade had to fight the monster. He used a skill to make the monster attack him. The other adventurers took the injured people away. They were worried that Jade couldn't fight the monster alone because it was a very strong monster. Jade was a fighter who took hits, not the one who caused the most damage. Jade was very happy because he also wanted to get back at the monster for what happened before. He fought hard. Slay was proud of his fighting skills. He was very good at fighting, but controlling the monster was a different story. He wanted to punish the silver swords and the receptionist and everyone in the city. Because someone was injured, the goat couldn't dodge the monster's attacks, so he had to stand and fight. Both sides used their special skills, but the heavy monster was starting to win against Jade. In the next scene, Alina said, "How come today there was so much work that she cursed her boss for making her work late?" The screams of the people could be heard from where she was. Alina realized that the annoying guy from the day before had caused the trouble. She was even more upset because he let the monster destroy everything by throwing rocks, and then she ran back to her nice house. She was crazy. Alina was worried about losing her house because she still had to live in it for 30 more years. She felt very unlucky. She used a powerful skill to kill that annoying guy. His name was Slay. The executioner suddenly rushed forward and cut off one of the monster's arms. He knew this was the person the association was trying to find. He thought that if he could kill this person, the association would be very sorry. Alina was angry because she lost her beloved house. It was her little paradise, and she was always tired from working late. Anyone who destroyed it deserved to die. So she used a very strong attack that cut the monster in half. The other guy didn't understand what was happening and was scared. He thought Alina was a monster. She tried to kill him, but she controlled herself and didn't kill him. In the evening, Jade went to Alina's house. He finally understood why the executioner was so angry. Alina was sitting in a corner, feeling lost, so he asked her to come stay at his house, but she told him he was crazy. She said she would find a place to rent. She also had to work late. The president of the association heard the news and immediately went to find the person they were looking for. He has special skills to find clues, so he was very happy because he finally knew who the executioner was. Alina didn't know anything at the guild, but they were reviewing her. In the next scene, Alina tried to send Jade away when he helped with the paperwork, but he insisted on staying because he was an officer of the association. He said he would help her because she saved the city that morning. He told her to stay that day. Usually, she would have to work late if she had a lot of work, so she had to finish her work today so she could go home early. Jade saw this and tried to help with some paperwork, which surprised Alina. She thought he was very smart, even better than someone who had worked there for a long time. She felt a little unfair. Jade said she helped him understand the work easily. He was going to give her some sweets to cheer her up, but she suddenly showed me a pearl that was broken. When he looked inside, he saw a mission written on it. After he read it out loud, a hidden mission board suddenly appeared. This was the first time they saw this thing. The location mentioned was the chalk tower. It was white, and they had to destroy all the monsters on each floor. Both Alina and Jade found it strange, but Alina didn't care and continued with her work so Jade could do the mission. If she joined, it would interfere with her work, so Alina didn't want to go. The next day, news about the executioner was everywhere. Layla came to tease her to see if she was the executioner. Alina was surprised. Luckily, Layla thought that Alina was a big fan of the executioner like her, and said that the executioner was definitely a man. Layla said she wanted the executioner to hit her and make her pregnant, which made Alina speechless and annoyed. Then the president of the guild appeared. The president walked up to Alina and asked her if she knew what skills he had. She said, of course. She remembered that he could stop time to see what happened in the past. After that, Alina felt something was wrong. This old man came to find her, so he must have seen what happened yesterday in the square. The president knows that his staff is trying to hide the executioner's identity. Alina felt like the sky was falling down when she was called to the headquarters to meet the Silver Swords. They were also there to comfort the goat. They said the president was evil but easy to talk to, so Alina shouldn't worry. Alina thought he was a snitch, but she didn't do anything. She was so angry that she cursed him. She had never cursed anyone before. Her teammates felt sorry for her. She said some bad words to Jade. He was heartbroken, but his teammate were making him feel worse. How could he bear it? When they found out Alina was the executioner, they were surprised because she looked like a normal receptionist. Later, when everyone was there, they sadly asked him what she wanted. The president was surprised like everyone else. The president was very shocked. He realized that the staff at the guild were very strong. He wanted to fight Alina to see how strong she was. The condition was, if he won, she would have to join the Silver Sword. However, if Alina won, then the association will to stop trying to capture the executioner and promise that no matter what she did, she will not be losing her receptionist job. Hearing this, she finally had a good reason to use the legendary hammer, especially since the other two people thought the person in front of them was truly the dangerous executioner. Alina was very grateful because she wanted to solve everything. With all her strength, she rushed to restore the peace she had, but her opponent stopped her. He realized that this girl wasn't just the executioner anymore. She was like a demon. Before he could do anything else, the special power that made his ability work was suddenly broken. This was unbelievable because Alina was still able to break the timeline. He explained that this was a special skill he could only use in this observation room, and only people with special abilities were supposed to be able to move, but she was somehow breaking through the rules of this dimension. It was truly an illusion. Because of this, it was clear who won and who lost. He didn't want to fight anymore. Alina was confused. She didn't understand anything, and she asked him to explain. Going inside, Glenn said he just wanted to test the strength of the little receptionist. He explained that the guild leader had a very powerful skill called Regim, along with another strong skill called Suz, and these are both very high-level abilities. But Alina's skill was even more terrifying. That's why she could easily defeat her opponent's attack. In other words, they were able to confirm that Alina's skill was incredibly powerful. So, they didn't care what her skill actually was. She asked them to keep their promise. What does it have to do with me anymore? She thought, and then she left the guild. The guild leader saw this and mentioned the White Chalk Tower after receiving a report from Den and sending someone to investigate. The guild found that this place was indeed a new and dangerous dungeon. No one knew that the order from the ancient relic was a secret mission that the ancient people had hidden. This also meant that in the near future, her work would be much busier because she would need to join the team to explore the dungeon. The old man scolded her and said that this would cause many more quests to come to the guild, and it would also make her work overtime for a very long time. She complained about this and then started to cry because she didn't want to work overtime for so many days. Hell is about to begin, she thought. Hearing that he understood why Alina became the executioner to avoid overtime, Glenn also confirmed that it was true. So, he felt a little guilty. But every job has its challenges. Glenn wanted her to go on a special mission to earn a lot of money. The reward would be very generous. At first, she refused, asking the old man if he was going to break his promise, and if she would be extremely busy when she got there. Who could go? The president continued to suggest that he would increase the number of people working at her counter. If there were 2 people helping her, it would obviously be much faster. Hearing that, she secretly thought to herself that from now on, no matter how busy she is, she won't have to work overtime alone anymore. So she agreed to the deal. Finally, my dream of going home early every day has come true. However, I have to make him keep his promise not to let me work overtime anymore. Also, because she didn't have a house yet, that day she slept in Silver Swords Inn. Everything was much more splendid than her room. In general, there was nothing to complain about, especially being able to sleep a little longer. Looking happy, Then Goat came to call her. Later, their temporary team was established. Lululi also introduced herself as a white mage who specializes in long-term healing and would be in charge of the backline. With the title Dark Mage, Low Splendor is good at long-range attacks. Alina told me that the receptionist would take charge of close combat, so everyone went together to explore the new dungeon. The other two felt that Alina is bored and depressed, asked her, and found out that today, she had to use her leave to go on duty. Seeing that Jade said, it only took a day, there was no need to make that face, and the result was still being scolded. That is the reward of a salaried employee like me. It is as sacred as human rights. So the captain was just grabbed by the neck and brainwashed. Luckily, the other two people noticed the chalk tower and continued to move forward. Before entering Dungeon D, they gave Alina a ring. It was a relic reserved for their silver swords. It was like every time a teammate was in danger, the crystal would glow for a long time. Low Splendor teased that this thing could be sold for a lot of money, but the result was getting hit to his balls by Lululi, and she said that it would be like selling the friendship of the sword. Because this was the first time Alina fought with teammates, it was also mentioned. Remember, at first, I was a tank, so I was in charge of attracting attention from the monsters on the first floor. They had to face a huge wolf that also knew how to use weapons. This felt no different from the boss of the first floor. The captain also stood up to do his job, provoking the opponent. His skill could block almost all attacks. Taking that opportunity, Alina rushed in and slashed the monster, then logged out. She innocently said that, so this is a team fight, making the other three helpless. In fact, from the beginning, maybe letting the little girl attack would have been faster than the two mages who hadn't even had time to do anything. Feeling excited, Lululi ran to compliment her friend on how good she was, but she was still considered a child. She angrily told her that she was an adult. The four of them continued walking and realized that there was no boss on the first floor. This had never happened before. This should have been a long time ago. Also wondering what the ancients who set this mission were thinking. I wonder if Alina asked if the creators of the dungeon had disappeared, right? Lululi called it the story of the ancients' wrath. They always sought great power, but eventually faced the wrath of the gods and were destroyed. This is just a story. No one has confirmed the real reason. This caused the ancients to disappear immediately. Then they heard the cries of humans and immediately ran in to see this scene. Loyal tried to recover but couldn't because the three people were dead. This scene reminded Alina of a story when she was a kid. Seeing that, Jade advised her not to look. Analysis showed the attacker was incredibly strong, piercing the gladiator's shield and killing him instantly. Luckily, Armorus, another gladiator, survived. He's as strong as Jade. He said a humanoid monster appeared, and he knew how to use the Dya skill. Then, a demon attacked but was instantly destroyed by Alina. Seeing this, the other guy realized this was the executioner and smiled, calling out, "Alina is a monster," as she summoned a white magic circle and weapon. Hearing this, Jade guessed the enemy was using the same technique as his friend. He returned to the guild and reported this to the guild leader. Since Jayap's team, ranked just below the silver sword, was completely wiped out, there was a high chance the monster was using a legendary skill. Knowing it was too dangerous, the guild leader planned to stop it. Russ was furious and told them, "You should abandon that weak style and still want to continue even though you've experienced despair." But he didn't accept it, saying from the beginning he didn't like Alina because the person who truly deserved that title was him. He threatened to spread rumors everywhere, calling the executioner a monster if they didn't let him join the team to conquer the White Chalk Tower. This guy clearly wanted to obtain a powerful, strange object, which would give him Dya skill. It turned out that before that, the mysterious masked man also gave him information about the secret mission in the deepest part of the tower, where a special relic was sleeping. It's highly likely that a Dya skill. Jade agreed to it, because he was afraid this would affect Alina's life. Jade informed Alina that from tomorrow onwards, she don't need to go with them anymore. She would return to work as a receptionist, and of course, all the previous arrangements would be kept. Hearing that, she realized the story was not normal at all. But never mind. As long as I don't get work overtime, Alina thought. This is probably the last time I get to sleep in this room. I'm so helpless. Who will chase me away? Jade even complimented her on her beautiful clothes today. It was too normal. She was wearing a uniform. So the young man also felt lucky to be complimented for being beautiful. So she was embarrassed and kicked him out. However, she felt quite uneasy and asked if he really didn't need her help. According to the story, then the humanoid monster used its skill to go, but he told me he had to go because that was the silver sword. They also told Alina that if by any chance something happened, everyone would try to escape. They assured the silver sword would return safely and told the little girl she could use this place as she pleases until her house is repaired. Seeing the silhouette of that boy leaving reminded her of the heartbreaking story when the little girl was close to an uncle who was an adventurer. Alina grew up to the point where she wanted to join his party and even declared that she would become invincible. He was also the one who gave advice, telling the girl to go work as a receptionist because it was much more stable and safe. Alina herself was also born as a cutie, which was extremely suitable. She refused to ask, and he promised to let her join. But one day, unfortunately, he died, making her sad. She considered that promise. At that time, she tried to wake him up but couldn't. Alina cried in despair for days until she woke up and found herself crying because she also had that dream a long time ago. So she hoped that the others would definitely return safely from White Chalk Tower. At this time, Jade was exhausted from having to stand up and use his continuous search skills to avoid meeting them. Rufus looked down on him, making his two younger siblings angry, but they were stopped by Jade so they wouldn't mess with this annoying guy. After they set foot in the room, finally, they smelled the scent of blood. He just lit a little then discovered the humanoid monster. He called himself not a monster, but demon god Siha. His skill is called Storm Earth, and he created a spear that was thrown straight at Jade. He reacted in time to block the attack, making Siha excited. Because there would be an interesting battle, Jade was about to retreat when the three of them were locked up by that bastard. It turned out this guy wanted to acquire Dia's skill, sacrificing their souls to the demon god. The death of 3 adventurers the day before was all done by him with the purpose of resurrecting the demon god and then stealing his weapon. He was laughing like he was having a good time, but was stabbed to death suddenly. Whoever entered Siha's sight was prey, and thus the soul of the wicked was absorbed. However, the taste was too bad, considering it dirty and lowly. Wanting to know if the souls of the other 3 were like that or not,